An Introduction to 2 Timothy. This letter was written by the Apostle Paul in Rome about 65 CE. Emperor Nero had begun persecuting Christians, and Paul was again a prisoner in Rome. During his first imprisonment, he was under house arrest. This time his situation was far more serious. He was not only in chains, but he was also facing imminent death. Paul wrote this warm letter to Timothy to encourage him to stir up like a fire the gift of God that he received, to do his utmost to remain approved by God, and to flee from the improper desires of youth. 2 Timothy has 4 chapters. Paul opens his letter with warm encouragement for Timothy, who may still be in Ephesus. Paul mentions that some brothers in Asia have turned away from him. But he commends Onesiphorus, who courageously searched for Paul to minister to him. In chapter 2, Paul tells Timothy to teach other faithful men the many things he learned from Paul. The apostle urges Timothy to reject foolish and ignorant debates, knowing that they produce fights. Did you know? Paul's second letter to Timothy is the last of 14 books that the apostle was inspired to write over a period of about 15 years. He wrote at least 5 of those books while he was in confinement in Rome, the book of Hebrews being written either shortly before or shortly after his release. In chapter 3, Paul foretells what people in general will be like during the last days of Satan's world. Paul then reminds Timothy that the Scriptures, which are inspired of God, are able to make him wise for salvation. Paul also says that all those desiring to live with godly devotion in association with Christ Jesus will be persecuted. In chapter 4, Paul solemnly charges Timothy to preach the word urgently, because the time is coming when some will reject the truth, preferring to have their ears tickled with false stories. Paul then indicates that his death is near, so he asks Timothy to come to him quickly and to bring Mark along. As you read Paul's second letter to Timothy, note how Paul, despite facing imminent death, was primarily concerned about others, especially his beloved Timothy. How all those desiring to live with godly devotion will be persecuted, and how, like Paul and Timothy, we should fully accomplish our ministry as we keep our focus on God's kingdom.